Hi, everyone. We're going to get going on the AP information portion of the evening. My name, again, is Eric Meyerbach. I'm the guidance director here, as you probably all already know. So we just want to go over kind of AP, give you an overview of AP, go over the benefits of it, and get some feedback from, we have 3 students here that are going to give some of their perspectives of taking AP coursework. As you think about what you want to do. We also have AP contracts that were on the table outside. That's something that we're going to, is an expectation for any student taking an AP next year, is that they complete that contract so they kind of understand the expectations of the course and the commitment that's involved. So just as an overview of AP, Advanced Placement Program, AP courses are college-level courses offered in the high school. AP courses reflect what is taught in introductory college courses. Students take AP exams, which are standardized tests in May that measure how well students have mastered college-level work. Students who do well in AP exams may earn credit or placement into advanced courses in college. In terms of earning college credit, when you take an AP exam at the end of the year, you get graded on a scale of 1 to 5. A 3 is kind of generally regarded as a decent score, and 5 being the best score. Depending on the colleges you apply to, between a 3 and a 5 is accepted for credit at a college, so you can skip introductory classes, and move directly into higher level classes or fulfill other requirements towards graduation a little bit earlier. What are AP courses like? AP courses typically demand more students than regular honors courses. They're faster paced. There's a much larger time commitment, especially outside of class. Demands of higher level critical thinking, moving beyond comprehension and even application. So it's definitely a higher level coursework, and it's not all about the speed and the information. It's about analyzing information, synthesizing it, evaluating it. And I would say that, and the students could probably speak the best of it, but there's definitely a time commitment each week. College Board puts out guidelines at 8 to 10 hours per AP. I don't know if that's too high or too low. Maybe our students can shed some light how much time they spend on their AP coursework each week. In terms of college admissions, AP courses strengthen a student's transcript. So we have a weighted GPA here at the high school, and if you take an AP course, it is weighted higher than if you take an honors or a college prep course, so it does help your GPA. In terms of strength of transcripts, colleges want to see core courses. You're taking core courses for 3-4 years, and then if you're taking at an honors level, AP level, if you're taking all honors courses and getting A's, and you don't take any APs, a college is going to wonder why you didn't challenge yourself or why you didn't take any APs given your success at the honors level. So if a high school like Pembroke High School offers a decent amount of AP options and you're a really good student, you should really at least try an AP to show that you're pushing yourself in the curriculum and to challenge yourself. At PHS, we support and encourage all students should they want to pursue AP classes, so we have an open enrollment policy. So that means any student can enroll in an AP course if they so choose. So we obviously speak to students, if we think that they might be enrolling in too many AP courses, or if we're concerned about their academic profile based on the courses they select, and have conversations with them to make sure they're making the right decision. But certainly, they have the final say there, and we do that to not close the door on students. Some students start to work harder in their junior year, and things kind of click for them, and they really want to try an AP senior year, and maybe they didn't have the grades and the prerequisites, so they had that opportunity still to access AP coursework, which I think is important. And of course, like striking a realistic balance between challenging yourself and creating a program of studies that leads to success. So obviously we want you to challenge yourself, but we don't want you to overwhelm yourself either. So there is a balance, and that balance can be tricky to find. Counselors will meet with students often, particularly if you're taking an AP for the first time, we're going to meet with you, or if you're taking, say, more than 3 APs, we're going to have a conversation with you as well. So They're a good resource to talk to about APs, about your proposed schedule or what you're thinking about doing. The teachers are obviously a great resource as well. They can talk to the specific content of AP, say history or AP English, and give you some more detailed information on what to expect. All students are expected to take the AP exams in May. They're approximately, I believe $94 this year was the cost of an AP exam, so it's not cheap. And it'll probably be a similar cost next year. So it's something that families need to pay for in advance and prepare for. Students and parents will complete an AP contract as an expectation for enrollment. So again, we had those at the table outside. There's an AP contract on one side and a time management worksheet on the other. So you can kind of complete the worksheet and get an idea of, it's a really good exercise to see what the time commitment is, and also take a look at, the sports you're doing, the co-curriculars you're doing, or if you're in the play, or if you work. You can kind of map out how many hours a week you have committed versus how many hours a week you can put towards your AP studying. So it's a really good worksheet to complete, and on the other side is the contract. And we do that to, just keep the lines of communication open and make sure that parents and students understand the expectations and the commitment of AP, because it is a big commitment, and we want everyone to understand what that is on the front end. And here's just a quick list of the AP courses that we offered. We went over a lot of these earlier. We have the AP English Language and AP Literature, and in science we have biology, physics C, and chemistry. Math, we have Calc AB and Calc BC, and stats. We also have Computer Science A, Computer Science Principles, and the 3 foreign languages we offer in AP, as well as U.S. History, European History, U.S. Government Politics, Psychology, and then Studio Art is a new AP that we're offering next year. What AP classes should I take? Select an area of interest, passion, or relevance to your future college major. So if you're interested in science, try a science one. You can look at the pathways and certainly do it that way, but if you just have a specific interest in a course, then that's okay too. So you want to try and gear it possibly to a future college major, but that's not necessarily the way you have to do it. You could just go by your interest and do the best you can. If you've never taken an AP class before, you may want to start with just one. It depends on your academic profile a little bit. I certainly don't advocate for students to go and start with 3 APs junior year unless you're a really strong student. Making that jump from no AP coursework sophomore year to 3 APs junior year is a significant leap. So you want to make sure that you're prepared to do that, and then you have the academic background and profile to be successful. And again, considering your schedule outside of school and deciding how many AP classes to take. So how many should you take? There is no maximum. You can take up to 5 a year if you wanted to. I would say only 1 or 2 students do that. 3 is a good recommended maximum. The reason to take an AP is kind of to show that you can handle college level work, and you can show that you can handle it in that certain area that you might be majoring in. It's not necessarily to show how many you can possibly handle and take the most out there. It's not about quantity. Sometimes it's about the quality of the coursework that you're doing. So, taking more than 3 doesn't make sense in a lot of ways. So you'd have to be a really, really strong student or have some really, specific goals or reasons for taking more than 3. Again, increase incrementally from junior year to senior year. So if you took 0 junior year, going to 3 senior year, probably isn't a good idea. If you took 1 junior year, then maybe 2 could be good for senior year. So it all depends on how you did the year prior. Again, making leaps of any leap larger than 2 APs is generally can be overwhelming for students. And then a little bit of the data from last year. This is what we got from the data last year that suggested that students around a 3.0, 1 AP is a suggested maximum. Students that took more than 1 AP that had around a 3.0 meet success very often. And around a 3.5 is a good max. 2 APs is a good max. And then around, for a 4.0 GPA student, 3 APs is a good suggested max. So based on the data and the grades students received, it seemed that made sense the most. As general guidelines, again, it's not like a hard and fast rule by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't mean that you need to follow it, but just to give you a sense of, okay, my GPA is this, what does that translate into how many APs make sense for me? So it kind of gives you a little bit of a scale to look at. And in terms of AP credit policy information, as I was talking before, if you get between a 3 and 5 on the AP exam, you could be eligible to get college credit up front. So if you go to the College Board website, collegeboard.org/AP credit policy, and just click on that, you can click on the school and you can see their AP credit policy. So UMass Amherst is going to be different than Northeastern, and Northeastern will be different than BC. So you're going to have to, if you're looking at colleges and want to know what you'll get credit for based on the AP, you need to go look at the specific school. Now, I'm going to turn it over for our student perspective. Taryn, Hannah, and Nicole, please come up. Yeah, I'll take the mic off, I think. And our students are just going to talk about their experience with AP and give you that perspective.
So I asked these students to come because I think they're a pretty good representation of the gamut of Pembroke High School students, right? First of all, they're wonderful, wonderful people, right? I'm so happy and so proud to be their principal, and I'm so happy that they go to school here because I think they really reflect what we do every day here, and that is great things. And obviously, they're AP students. You're here because you have high-achieving children, and you're looking for some guidance, perhaps, on what's the balance, right? And so they do run the gamut in terms of not only the amount of courses they're taking, but their experiences with them. So they're here to share their experiences. They're not here to preach, or they're not here to necessarily lecture. They're here to just give you an open and frank perspective from people who are actually living it right now. This is Taryn Cahill, and she is taking 3 AP classes. This is Nicole Blathrish. She's our senior class president, and she is taking 3 APs. And this is Hannah Mackey, and she is taking 3 APs. They are all involved in numerous activities. I don't understand how they do it. I don't know how they do it. They are here more often than I am here. They are athletes. They are involved in student council. They're on National Honor Society. They are involved in drama. They are involved in performing arts. They're involved in student government. Everything that we do here, they're in it, right? So, and I think that many of you have students that are just like that at home. I think that there's a correlation between kids that are involved and kids that succeed and achieve highly in school. So I think that we have a really good source of information here. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to them, maybe let them talk a little bit, but I think mostly your questions might generate this portion of the evening. But I know that, like, Taryn specifically wants to talk, so I'm going to give her the microphone first, all right? Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Hi, so I'm Taryn. I am in 3 AP classes this year, and I took 3 last year. I'm a senior, and my sophomore year I was in 1 because the history was a 2-year class. So my junior year I took AP Bio, AP Language, and AP History because it was the 2-year. And then this year I'm in Psychology, Statistics, and Government. And I'm intending to be a nursing major next year, so I think, lucky I figured out that I wanted to go medical pretty early, so deciding my APs made it easier. I knew that I wanted to take AP Bio because I knew that would help me. And then it's just on another side, I took Government this year, not because it would help me with my major in college, but just because I wanted to take that class. APs are tough, but taking 3 my junior year and 3 this year was manageable for me. Junior year was definitely harder, so I think we can all attest to that. But I think it was good for me because for colleges, I was able to talk about my AP classes in my interview and be able to show that I scored, this score, this score, and this score on my APs. And I think it did help me. It definitely brought my GPA up. which was good. Handling it with activities was something that you had to give and take. So I'm a 2-season varsity athlete, I'm president of the student council, and I participate in theater too. So there were nights that I would be up pretty late studying for exams, and I think if you're looking to do 3 or even just 1 AP class, knowing that you're gonna have those nights is something that you need to take into consideration, that some nights you're gonna have 2 tests the next day that you have to study for. So it's something to be considered, and know that you're not going to be able to go out every night with your, oh, not every night, hopefully no one goes out every night, but on Friday nights sometimes you are studying for that test you have on Monday. So with that, here you go.
Hi everyone, I'm Nicole. So I also take 3 APs. I took history my sophomore year, and my junior year I took AP chemistry, AP history, and AP Lang. And this year I take AP Bio, AP Stats, and AP Psych. Sorry. And I'm also class president, and I'm in NHS, and I have a job. So overall, I think my junior year was really hard. It was really difficult just jumping into the 3 APs. I wish that I had this night my parents went to it, because I was kind of unsure what to do. I wish I knew more about like pathways. I think that you should talk to your children about what they like the most, because I kind of just took AP chemistry, which is known to be one of the hardest APs, just because I wanted to like be in that top class, you know. But it actually ended up being a bad choice for me, because like I don't need that, and I'm going to be a nursing major, and you don't need to take AP chemistry. So that course just really put a lot of stress on me, and it was hard for me to manage it all. But I mean, I learned a lot from it, so I don't regret taking it. I'm not trying to like all your kids should do whatever they want, and AP chemistry is a great course. It makes you stronger, and you learn so much, but it's hard, and it was really difficult for me to go from taking just 1 AP to 3 and managing everything else. But currently this year, senior year, is great. I learned a lot from my junior year, so I'm doing awesome. Like, I can manage everything perfect, I can have a job, I can do the 3 APs, and it's awesome. So I learned a lot from it, and I think AP courses are great. I think they really helped me get into the colleges that I got into this year, so I really recommend them.
All right. Hi, I'm Hannah. Similar to Taryn and Nicole, I took 1 AP sophomore year, which was AP history, and then junior year I took AP Lang, AP Bio, and AP history. And this year I'm taking AP Latin, AP literature, and AP psychology. So unlike them, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I still don't really know what I want to do in college, which made it really hard for me to pick what AP classes I wanted to take. And I knew that I wanted to take AP classes because I like to challenge myself, and I think I'm a pretty good student. So like taking AP Bio last year, I was like, why not? But now I'm like, I shouldn't have probably taken that, but it's good to like helps you figure out what you want to do. And now I'm kind of leaning towards becoming like an elementary school teacher, or something to do with English or music. So I think taking AP classes is really great to help you kind of figure out what you want to do, because if I hadn't taken AP Bio, I wouldn't have known that maybe science isn't for me. But it was still a really good class. And you learn a lot about like time management and work ethic. And that's so important. Like, we're all involved in so many activities. Like, I am in like student council, the drama department. I do 2 after-school a cappella groups. I run the kids choir at my church. Like, we all just are involved in so many different activities, but like it is manageable. And I think we can all attest to that. But it's so important to have time management, and just like knowing how to prioritize your time and your work is really important. But I don't regret taking any of my AP classes, and I think it was a really good experience. So if you're thinking about taking them, I would really suggest it. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say that there are less people. Like, my AP Latin class has 8 students, and my AP Literature class has 10, and I personally like that a lot. I really like having small class sizes, but the more popular AP classes, like AP Psychology, tend to have more students.
Yeah, it depends on the class.
Yeah.
Yeah, so My government class is completely full. There's 25 of us. My psychology class is completely full. It depends on which class you're taking. So if you're taking the APs that are less popular, like Lit and Latin, you're not going to get those big classes. But if you're taking psychology, gov, bio, you're going to be in a pretty full classroom. But this year, and we take all honors aside from our APs, but being in classrooms where you're with other students that are taking AP, for me, it doesn't really matter that there's 25, because it's all kids that are there to take AP classes. You know, it's not like a big rowdy group. It's kids that are there to focus and take their classes. So I found that environment was better for me than even some of my honors classes, which had smaller sizes, but kids that were they were not there to goof around, obviously, but your AP class, you're going to be surrounded by like AP students. Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions? Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know if that's more of a question for you, but I'll try to answer it. So, I mean, I think we all did, yeah, so I had a lower grade, and I mean, I managed to get B's in all of my AP classes, which was great, and maybe I would have gotten an A if I took it in the CP or the honors level, but just for me, like, I did a college interview this year at my top school, and they asked me, you know, what was your most challenging part of high school, and I told them it was my AP biology class. And I ended with a B- in that class, which was lower for comparing to my other grades, but I was able to talk about how it's more of a challenge, and I think they like to see that challenge, but if you're gonna set yourself up to not do well, like getting a C or a D, then it probably is better to stay in the honors. But I think, for me at least, I think colleges would prefer to see you challenging yourself and getting a B in an AP than getting an A+ in honors. I don't know if that's correct, but you can.
That was a very good answer, actually. So the colleges are looking for you to challenge yourself, but not overwhelm yourself. So as a general rule, if you're getting B's or better, and you should be moving up and challenging yourself. And then it becomes a slippery slope. Once you get into the C range, it's okay, it's not so beneficial to the GPA, it's not looking as good. But a C can be a good thing. It depends on the student and their profile. If they're trying an AP for the first time and they're really grinding it out, or if they, they've had life circumstances that might have interfered with their ability to study as much, and they really worked hard and got a couple C's, that can look really good. So the point is that they're pushing themselves and they're putting themselves out of the comfort zone. Obviously, if it gets to the point where they're failing the course, then that's not obviously working anymore. So it's a little bit of a slippery slope, but the general rule of thumb is what I tell families and students is if you're getting A's or B's or better, you should be pushing yourself in, trying that next level and seeing how that goes. It's a good question, though. Yeah, how many hours total would you say? I was saying 8 to 10, but that was a College Board guideline, so I want to get the real data on how many hours you put in per AP.
When you take an AP class, it's not as much homework. It's they give you harder tests, so you kind of most of your homework is just studying all night. It's not really, they don't give you busy work like honors classes. They'll give you busy work, just stuff to do. But AP courses, they don't really do that. It's just really difficult tests, essays, all the stuff that you just have to prepare for.
Yeah, and I think it does also depend on that AP class. So the sciences, I think, are more difficult, and you're going to spend more time studying. And compared to my gov class, it's not as much work as it would have been. Nicole would text me at 2 a.m. I'm still doing chem, so it depends on the class.
Yeah, for my AP Lit class, where there's you don't have to study as much for tests because it's hard, you can't really. I have more essays. This week I was juggling writing 2 different essays, so it's definitely different for each class you're in. But yeah, I would say you spend a good amount of time
writing essays, studying for
Yeah.
tests. It's less busy work, like Nicole said.
I would probably do like 3 hours, 3 or to 5, depending on the day, of homework a night.
But I say like if your kid took chemistry, it's probably like 2 hours of homework a night for
Just that class. Yeah.
just for that class.
And that's on top of the other things that they do. So this is what I say, you know, and again, I'm in a tough spot here, right? Because I don't want to be labeled the guy who's not telling kids to push themselves, because Lord knows I'm for it, right? But I see too many kids who are struggling with the time commitment, all right? And including the 3 that are here, certainly. And I know that I give a ton of credit. They're putting themselves out there right now, and they're exposing their vulnerabilities, right? But that's hard to do, right? So, but to hear that Nicole is up texting at 2 a.m. chem homework, right? Great, if you can do it, great. But I think we have to be aware that's a real possibility and what that means for the overall picture of things, right? And that's a decision you have to make based on, and you know your child better than anybody. Can they do that? Is that for them? And if it is, then let's do it. We're here for you, right?
But I think that's what we're also trying to like touch upon with the pathways, because I've heard like AP Chemistry and AP Physics are the 2 hardest. So I think those are like the ones you should be cautious of when your kid's signing up for them. Those are just the 2, like, don't just take them because they're APs. Like the other ones aren't as bad, but I think these
The
like chemistry and
sciences.
physics and bio too. I mean,
Yeah.
but just those ones you gotta keep an eye on.
If you know, like I knew I wanted to go into nursing, so it made sense for me to do bio. And Hannah said now she's going into English. It didn't make sense for her to do bio. So if your kid like knows what they want to do, then they shouldn't just take it because it's an AP.
Having worked in the college application side, both as a parent with the kids who were there and also in college admissions, I think what you were saying at the very beginning makes so much sense, that it's a conversation with the counselors who put the recommendations, the teachers that know you, your own weight load. It depends on the course, but it depends on the student too. And it's wonderful that you work with the students for such a long period to figure it out, not to pigeonhole them.
It takes a village, right? Certainly.
It does, it really does.
So the content supervisors are here until 9 o'clock. If you have specific questions about a specific AP course, the workload, or anything for that matter, because I know that you guys have stayed, so if you want to talk about anything that's not AP related, they're in those science rooms. The slips are still out there identifying their locations if you don't have one. I thank you for coming, and I wish you the best of luck during this process. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you, our students.